Right, I just thought I'd make a video for you all about Slik elastic, which is a elastic by Matrix, and every time there's any post by Matrix, any video or anything, you get a load of questions about Slik. How do you use it? What grades do you use? Things like that. So I'm just going to do a kind of a complete guide to the range. First of all, it's a solid elastic. It's not just any solid elastic. It has a stretch of I think 500 or 600% more than a normal latex, which is a lot of stretch. Whereas a more traditional elastic is going to bottom out quicker if you get a big fish on, something like that. And some it's going to give your hook hold or your line. With Slik, it's going to keep on going, okay? It's equivalent to having more line on your reel. You're letting fish run further. They're going to stop, they're going to come back to you, you're going to land them. The extra stretch as well, it also means you're going to bump less fish when you're bringing them back, especially smaller fish. So it's very good where you're fishing mixed fisheries, things like that, where you want to land everything you hook. So let's start at the beginning. At the bottom end of the range, we've got a 4 to 6 and also the 6 to 8. That's the 4 to 6 yellow. Now, these are very much kind of silverfish, light F1 elastics, I'd say. They're especially good for fish such as skimmers and eyed, which are going to come straight to the top and don't fight very much, because that's where you need that extra stretch. You know, you don't want too heavy elastic or, you know, too harsh an elastic, because they're just going to come off. I'd use a 6 to 8 for when it's really, really cold for F1s. And I'd also use that 6 to 8 in a situation on a mix, when you're looking for a mixed catch, where you want to catch everything. So your next bite could be a 2-ounce roach, or it could be a 10-pound carp, okay? If you fish too heavy an elastic because you want to get the carp out, you're going to miss out on the roach and things, so you're going to lose them. If you fish the 6 to 8 Slik, you're going to land the roach, you're also going to land the carp. It's going to take you a bit of time, granted, don't get me wrong, but you're going to land it, that's the main thing. It's amazing the amount of carp we land in these silverfish matches on 2-pound line and 5s and 6 elastics, okay, just by, you know, having balanced tackle more than anything. 010, which is £2, 012, which is £3, 18s, 20s, something like that. It's perfect. The only other thing I'd say as well is I don't use the Slik, the lighter one, for roach. I prefer a solid elastic, purely because you just want a little bit less stretch when you swinging smaller fish like roach in, if you're catching a lot of them. Next one up, and this is my favourite of the lot to be honest, is the 8 to 10, the green. And that is brilliant for F1 carp. Any time between November and start of March, I'd say. So anytime the water's cold, what I'd always say with Slik is to take the lower end of the scale of the rating. So take the 8 rather than the 10. That's just purely because that's how I've found the ratings seem to be more accurate for. So it's more of an 8 than a 10, definitely, and that's true with all of them. So 010, you know, line, something like that, 012 again, with an 18 hook is absolutely perfectly balanced with that. There's always a few carp in these F1 fishes as well. You'll get them out as well, so don't worry about that. And it's just an elastic. It's one of the elastics you put in and you just think that works. And I know just about everyone who's impartial who goes F1 fishing, who isn't sponsored by a company, uses that. It's just really, really good in winter. Next one up is the 10 to 12, the pink. And this is an elastic I'd say is great for this time of year, which is spring. And it's a transition period, I'd say, between the fish are waking up, but they're not quite in summer mode yet. So they're only sort of at half speed at the minute. But the 8 to 10 would be too light, and the one above the 12 or something like that would be too heavy. So this is a kind of in-between grade. Also, I use that in summer. You can put that through a shallow kit. Really, really nice through a shallow kit if you're fishing long, especially, and you want a bit of stretch. And again, you're going to get an odd carp out on that elastic. You're going to get carp out, no worries. So yeah, that's a great elastic for the minute, fishing up to islands, things like that. 012 again, £3, 18s, 16s. 0.14 maybe at a push, but to be honest, you're going to be fishing more for F1s with this elastic, so you want the kind of lighter hook lengths. Now we're getting into what I term as the carp side of the elastic range, and this is a 12 to 14. Again, this is great for this time of year. Fish are just starting to wake up, but the nights are still cold. They're still sluggish. So this is it's ideal with 4-pound line, 0.14, 0.16 maybe, 18, 16 hooks. And just, you know, it's just soft and it's going to stretch, but there's still a little bit of power there for those carp in open water. So pinging pellets and things, carp 3 to 6-7 pound, you know, you're going to get them all out on that stuff. Moving up slightly is the 14 to 16, the yellow, and a lot of people use this for shallow fishing, for dobbing, things like that. Personally, I don't really use it that much. I tend to jump from the orange up to the green, the next one above this, but you know, you can use this down the edge for F1s as you can the orange, you know, just because it's fairly thick and it says 14, stuff like this on it, doesn't mean it's got 14 elastic. It's soft, okay, all the elastics are soft in this range when they first come out, so it means you're not going to lose fish. It's just as it comes out, the more it's going to power up. It's as simple as that. So it's just going to power up a bit quicker than that orange. You know, line wise, 5-pound line, 6-pound line, 0.16, 0.18, 16s, hooks is balanced with that. Now the next one is this. It's a 16 to 18 green. I use it for short fishing, 5-meter line, things like that. Down the edge at this time of year, we get a few bigger fish, a few snags about, things like that. Okay. What I will say is with all this slick range, if you find an elastic, if you find a slick that you feel is a little bit too stretchy for you, you don't quite get on with it, it's taking a bit too long to land fish, just move up a grade, or another grade even. They're still all soft as they come out, it's just that more and more power comes into play, okay? So this 16 to 18 I use, as I say, on the deck, up to islands in summer, shallow up to islands. On F1 gets into the action, you're still going to land them, okay? As long as you don't set the elastic like a guitar string. Yeah, another good elastic that. Now we're getting into the thick stuff, the business end of things. This is the 18 to 20 red. It's quite a thick elastic. Again, it's solid though, and there's also a 20 to 22 even more, an orange. And this is a really good margin elastic, and I'll give you a prime example the first time I used it, and this comes back to what I'm talking about setting these elastics soft. One of the first matches I fished on the stock pond at Slik House, which is a big deep gravel pit, and it's just full of really big angry things, you know, hippos, 8, 10, 12, 15 pound things, and they're not easy to catch, and they go like anything. And I had 3 for about £25, I think, in the first few hours, and it wasn't fishing very well. No one caught anything for ages in the middle. And then finally they turned up. I was on a corner peg, 12, I think. And they finally turned up down the side, and I could just enough depth for me to be able to see them. I've gone from having £25 to having £180 in the last 90 minutes alone, just using red slick and an 0.20 hook length and a 12 hook. And as I say, this is the key to it. It's just a setting it soft so it almost falls back into the tip and almost hangs out, because by doing that they don't feel it so much and they don't bolt off, okay? So you're able to just guide them out the peg, bring the pole back, as long as you keep it low and you don't make any sudden daft movements, and you can almost get the fish before they realise what's going on, and that's the ultimate aim really. If you pull the heads off, they're just going to take offence to that and they're going to go the opposite way. So just by almost trying to mug them, lifting the top kit at the last moment, having the net ready, I could get these 8, 10, 12 pound fish in very easily. And if they did run out into the open water, you've still got that stretch there. You don't have to add sections because they're not going to bust you an 0.20 like a normal elastic would. So you've still got that stretch. So that really helped me that day, did this elastic. And I've used it ever since, and I've used it in snags as well, things like that, just tighten it up as well. and that plays a big part in my fishing. Just going to show you a little few things here which are really important for when you're putting this elastic in your top kits. And the first thing is what I was just talking about then, is how you set it. Okay, and I want you to remember that if you put an elastic through your kit, if you set your elastic too tight in the first instance, you can't slacken it off because you haven't got any extra elastic. If you're using a puller kit, that is, because it's fixed at both ends. If you set your elastic a little bit on the slack side to begin with, you can always tighten it up. Okay, so it's better to err on that side. But also for this reason, as I said, this is how I set my slick, and this is a fresh 12 to 14 that's just gone in. So as you can see, it only barely creeps back into that pole tip. It's very soft, and that's what you want. You want it to come straight out as soon as you hit a fish. Okay, you want to lift into the bites and they don't feel it so much. It stretches off, and as it goes out more and more, that's when you get that power. If you were to do this and set it a little bit too tight, and so I see a lot of people with this, when they hit a fish, the pole bends over double because their elastic's too tight and it pings back into the tip like this. When you hit a fish, it's going to go doosh, and it's just going to be too much pressure too soon, and they're going to react to that and they're going to bolt off. Okay, you don't want that. They're going to upset the other fish in a swim, and they're going to take longer to land. The other thing I'd mention, always lubricate slick. Okay, it's a solid elastic. If you were fishing a normal solid elastic, you'd lubricate it. So why not with slick, just because it's thicker? It does occasionally, especially if you're setting it a little bit too tight, it can stick slightly on, very occasionally, just on the sides of the pole tip. That's just purely because of the unique material, I think. And that's when you might get that slight, too tight effect. But as long as you set it slack and you lubricate it, it's just going to come straight out like that, super smooth, and it's away, and you've got cushion then, and that's exactly what you want. Okay, I might do another video on how I set my top kits up at another time with the beads and things like that, and all the knots and things, if anyone's interested in that. But as I say, just give slick a go. It takes some getting used to. Okay, it's not like a normal elastic. It feels different to a normal elastic, stretches further. But trust me, once you're onto this stuff and you get used to it, you'll use very little else. Okay, you might use a solid elastic sometimes, or something up to extreme snags or normal hollow. But as long as it's not a jungle, you don't need another elastic. Okay, and people like Jamie Hughes are just completely converted to this elastic now. So as I say, I've had some of it in my kits 12 months, some of the heaviest stuff, and it just doesn't wear. You don't get that splitting and things like you do with hollows. And even if you bite it and things and almost halve the elastics, you've got a cut in it, you'll pull it, you'll see how tough it is, because it's not got that hollow centre, that layer of air, or that other second layer that hollows have. It's just one solid rubbery material. So get some, give it a go, and trust me, you will like it. And let me know your thoughts, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video I'm going to make. Cheers.